So hello fellow coin collectors, this is Glenn back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the last coin of the Austrian shilling. So if you're not too familiar where Austria is, so here is the map of Austria. It's in the dark green. It's surrounded by the countries of Germany to the north and Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Italy and Switzerland. Over here we have France. There's Russia, Kaliningrad or Königsberg, Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Romania, Bulgaria. Here is Serbia. There's Montenegro, Bosnia, Croatia. And in between here we actually have Liechtenstein, which is a small country. And you should all know the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Denmark, Sweden, United Kingdom. And you'll notice that the green countries are actually in the EU. And you see that a few of them are actually out of the EU. So, the countries in the EU that don't use the euro are Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, not focused, Croatia, and these countries over here, and these countries up to the north. So these coins are no longer used in Austria because they adopted the euro in 2002. So these ones are no longer legal tender. Although you can probably exchange them at the central bank and sell them as collector's coins. So you can see we have the smallest coin, which is a 2 groschen. They did have a 1 groschen in 1947. But they decided not to actually continue that denomination, so the 2 groschen was actually the lowest minted denomination that there is. So that's aluminium. Then we have a zinc 5 groschen, a aluminium 10 groschen, a brass 50 groschen, or aluminium bronze should I say, and also aluminium bronze 1 shilling, a copper nickel 5 shillings, and a copper nickel 10 shillings. And these coins down here, these are actually the silver issue. The curious thing about the actual 5 shilling is that it went from an aluminium coin, I did make that in another video, to a silver coin, then to a copper nickel coin. So it actually increased in value, and that happened with the stabilization of the actual currency. So a little bit of history. The shilling was first issued in 1925. It replaced the Austrian krona, which is a daughter of the Austria-Hungarian krona, at 10,000 krona equals 1 shilling. So the inflation was not as bad as in Germany and some other countries like Poland of the time period, or even Russia, which also suffered from bad inflation. And in 1938, it's actually replaced with the Reichsmark at 1.5 shillings equals 1 Reichsmark. So these coins never actually circulated at that time. In 1945, they actually replaced the paper currency Reichsmark with paper shillings. And coins were actually not minted up until 1946 with the aluminium 50 groschen, 1 2 groschen that have been replaced. Over time, they were actually replaced. And these ones here are actually only issued in 1947-48. And the 10 shilling actually was not issued until 1957. And the curious thing, if I can find the actual coin that I have. So here I have the actual coin. So this is a 50 Reichspfennig from Nazi Germany, and to make sure I need to definitely confirm it. So 1941, and the 5 groschen is actually an ancestor of this coin, because after the Second World War, 1947-48, they actually used whatever blanks they had in the Austrian mint to actually mint these coins, and also 45 and 10 groschen between 1948 and 50. They actually overstamped these 5 Reichspfennig coins as 5 groschens. So if you get any dated between 1948 and 50, check to see if they've been overstamped. So they should have the images of the 5 Reichspfennigs, and on some of the coins you can actually see the swastika and the eagle. And as you can see, so this is the last holdover of the Second World War of currency still in circulation. It's quite curious. And this one's also zinc. It probably has some magnesium. That's why it actually looks silver, because it actually hasn't toned that much yet. Then we have that's a fascinating feature. Then the 10 groschen, that's pretty much just a normal coin, just as the coat of arms and the denomination. Then we have the 50 Schilling groschen, and that one has a Gentiana aculeus, so the flower. That's the actual scientific name for the flower. And if we flip it over, we can see it just has the Austrian shield. The 1 shilling is actually nothing special. I should actually say when I first introduced. So the 2 groschen was first introduced in 1950, last minted in 1994. The 50 was introduced in 1948 and last minted in 1994. The 10 was minted in 1951, last minted in 2001, and that actually replaced the zinc coin. The 50 actually was introduced in 1959, last issued in 2001, and that replaced an aluminium coin. This also replaced an aluminium coin, the 1 groschen, and that was first issued in 1959 to 2001. And on the other side, we have we have 3 Alderweis flowers. They actually look quite nice. I'd actually like to see them in person. Then we have the 2 5 shillings. So the silver one down below was introduced in 1960 to 1968. That replaced an aluminium coin. And the copper nickel was introduced in 1968. And the actual design is actually the same. So if we have a look, they're actually the same design. So you've got the shield on one side, and on the other side you have the Lipizzaner stallion and rider. So, and the way you can actually tell the silver and the copper nickel coin is that the silver one is braided, and the copper nickel one is just plain edged. So that's basically the only way you can actually tell those 2 coins. Probably weight differences as well. Here we have the 10 shilling. The silver was introduced in 1957, last minted in 1973. This item was introduced in 1974. And how you tell the difference is that the silver one is a little bit bigger, so it's actually a little bit about a millimeter bigger coin. It has the shield on it, and the copper nickel coin has the eagle with the small shield. So essentially the coat of arms of Austria. And it has Republic Österreich, so that's the name. Österreich is the name of the country. Eastern Empire. Reich means empire in German. Öster means east. So it's basically that name. So how much would these actually cost? Well, pretty much the 2 to 1 shilling. You can probably pick them up for $1 or $2 each. They're actually not very expensive. You get to the 90s, the 2 and 5 groschen. A lot of years were not issued, so they're actually pretty scarce for some years. The 10, 50 and 1 shilling, they're probably pretty common for most years. Probably 2001 is probably the lowest mint. These ones are pretty much only bullion value. Has a lot of these actually were minted. Then we had the 5 and 10, probably $3 to $5 each, I would say, for a high grade coin. If you go to eBay, you'll see that it's pretty hard to get one of these coins for $1 or $2 each, and even then it's probably in poor grade, and you'll probably say, I don't want that in my collection because it's not really worth it. So that is going to be the conclusion of my talk. Leave a comment down below what you think about Austrian coins, and also give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell button, because that's the only way you get notifications now. And I'd like to say thank you very much for watching my video, and have an awesome coin collecting time. I'll leave some links down below to Austrian coins and see if you can actually get a good set. So thank you very much, and bye bye. Oh, before I go, I forgot to mention the actual girl. She's actually a woman with the hat from Lower Austria.